Hey everyone, I'm here today taking a look at Mattel's new Jurassic World Slash and Attack Spinosaurus. And here's the packaging, and it's actually a really nice background we haven't seen before, of like this swamp. It's a shame this plastic bit's stuck on there really, it kind of ruins the picture, but it's a really nice swampy looking background. And this is part of their Epic Attack line. Going to get a baryonyx, which would be nice. This is their 3 levels of intensive damage. You can activate it with the arms and then the button on the back or the spine. Jurassic World logo. And then, like I say, the main swamp image is really nice. Sorry, that plastic kind of obscures it. But it's a good background for the Spinosaurus. In the back of the box. It's great to finally have a new Spinosaurus, which is not only a completely new mould, whereas all the other Spinosauruses we've had have been pretty much the same mould. They modified one slightly for some battle damage, but it was the same basic mould that had been retooled, whereas this is all completely new, and it's electronic. And I feel like Spinosaurus really deserved to have an electronic toy finally. We had one for the Indominus Rex, and we've had one for the T-Rex, we've had loads for the T-Rex. Finally it's Spinosaurus's turn. I'll go over articulation quickly first, because there's actually not that much on this, because a lot of it's tied to the action feature. But you've got the legs that go forward and backwards like that on both sides, and the ankles pivot round as well. And then the tail is on a swivel there from side to side. Doesn't go up and down though, it just goes from side to side. So the tail is quite limited actually. Normally they'll swivel around up and down, going all over the place, but this just goes side to side. The tip of the tail will bend, well, not bend, but it's more on a swivel, where it's basically 2 separate pieces, so this will swivel round. We see this on quite a lot of the dinosaurs now. I don't like this articulation point because it breaks up the sculpt, it never looks right, so it's not something that I ever actually use, but if you want to, you can move the tip of the tail around. But that is pretty much it for the articulation, because everything else is tied in to the action feature, which I keep activating. And that's one thing with this, the action features activate really easily. You've got a button on the side there, which blends in really well actually. You can barely see it, but when you press it, it activates the sound, and also there are 2 scratches that are sculpted in, and they will light up red as if it's blood. You can see there. The feet are smaller on this, and I am having trouble balancing it, but that is because I'm out on an uneven surface, so it's not so bad when you're at home on a flat surface on a table or whatever. So you've got that action feature. And then you've also got some more battle damage here on the frill. There's kind of a notch there that you can use to pull this bit up, because when you push in it, it pops down. You basically have to like push that bit of plastic in, and it like there's a spring that activates it. It'll pop down, makes more sounds, and the blood effects light up as well on there. But the thing with this is it's really difficult to get it to stay up. Like, I really struggle to get this to clip when I pull it up. It just will not stay up, and I don't know if anyone else has this problem. And it gets kind of annoying. But once you do get it to stay up, like I say, you can see that notch there where you can pull it up, and then you press it in again. You can see the blood effects lighting up. I do like the battle damage. I just wish it wasn't so easily activated and springy like that, and difficult to get this to stay up. And then the last action feature is connected to the arms, and this is why there isn't much articulation, because the neck and the arms will not move other than connecting to this action feature, whereas if you lift the arm up, it makes the head turn to the side and the mouth open, and it roars. And same if you do it with the other arm, it will make the head turn the other way. I'm not very keen on it when they design the dinosaurs like this, where it hinders the articulation so much, because you cannot move these arms at all outside of that action feature, like they'll just flop down like that. And the mouth won't hold open unless you're activating the action feature, and you can't pose the head at all. The head doesn't go up or down, it'll only go side to side like that when it's activated by the action feature. And as I said earlier, that thing pops down really easily. I didn't even touch that, I was just fiddling around with the front here, and that popped down. And oh my god, it just won't stay up. There. It's a nice sculpt. There are some cool details, like you can see the little slash marks there on the nose, and like one scar going down over the eye. Just a nice little detail, give it a bit of character. And you see there are some claw marks on the other side of the nose there as well, and then some kind of on the head there too. The teeth are that thin rubber like we've seen on a lot of the dinosaurs lately, so they look a lot sharper than on the older Spinosaurus. The fin's a different shape on this one too, which I'll show you in a bit when I bring in the older Spinosaurus for a comparison. I feel like the sculpt works better on this one than on the previous. There's an app code that slides out of the back of the tail there. And you see on this one the nails are painted on the feet, which is nice to see, but not on the hands, which is a shame. And now I'll give you a comparison with the regular Spinosaurus that we'd had before. See, the teeth look better on the new one when they have that thinner rubbery plastic rather than it being a part of the same sculpt as the head. It's kind of hard to open the mouth on this one without it going to the side, but the tongue isn't a separate piece on this new one. The tongue is sculpted into the bottom part of the mouth, so the tongue doesn't really stick out the way it does on that earlier one. You can see the row of teeth goes back further on this new one as well than it did on the earlier one. So it's actually got more teeth. The fin is quite a different shape on this new one than on the original. That was more of a straight curve, whereas this one's kind of lumpier, which does match updated designs of the Spinosaurus. I mean, the Spinosaurus is getting changed all the time, like the real version. People are never really sure how it looked, so they've adapted that a little bit to this new version. So they do look quite different from each other, which is nice, because like I said before, all those earlier Spinosauruses we got were pretty much the same mould used over again. It's really nice to have one that's got, you know, just a few little differences to make it stand out and look unique. But all of the sculpting looks quite different on this new one. The scales, you can see there's quite a lot of thicker, bonier scales on the thigh and along the back, which the original one doesn't have. The feet are smaller on the new one, which is something we're seeing on quite a lot of the newer dinosaurs, on the Hammond Collection Velociraptor, on the latest T-Rex in the main line. They've made the feet smaller. So I think Mattel are listening to fans, because quite a few people have been complaining over the years that the feet just look a bit too big and out of proportion, and it can make them look a bit silly, like they're wearing big dinosaur slippers or something. They're both about the same length, which might annoy some people, because I know people had complained that the tail on that original one was a bit too short. Whereas this new one, if anything, is ever so slightly shorter. But in general, they are about the same length. See, on the new one as well, he's got his left foot forward, whereas on the original sculpt, he had the right foot forward. Maybe only a minor thing, but I do like it when they at least give them a bit of a different pose like that, even though they're still generally just the dinosaur stepping forward. At least it makes them stand out from each other a bit more. The paint job on the new Spinosaurus is a bit more similar to the first Spinosaurus release we had, rather than this repaint from, I think it was 2021 that we got that. But it does have a lot more purple on. I'm not so keen on the purple, especially the arms that are completely purple. I'd rather they had a bit more shading. I don't know, I think they would have looked better if they were grey like the majority of the rest of the body. Even though there is that purpley colour on the top of the skull, and then you've got it going along the top of the spine and a bit on the shoulders, the majority of the body is the more grey colour, so the arms being completely the purpley just doesn't quite match for me. Looks a bit weird, like the arms don't quite fit in with the rest of it. I do think the paint job on this older one looks nicer. It just seems a bit more detailing, and the colours fade in a bit better. A bit more design to it, whereas this one's just kind of got the purple blobbed on there at the top of the head and the arms, and a little bit here. It's a shame because it's a really nice sculpt. I think it would have benefited from a better paint job, a better colour scheme, more shading and fading to really bring out the details better. And for another comparison, I've got the latest T-Rex release. Here's the light up Spinosaurus with the light up Indominus. Just for a size comparison between the three. So that's the Attackin Spinosaurus. It's a really nice sculpt, and I do love having an electronic Spinosaurus finally, but I'm just not that keen on the action feature. I wish the mouth opened by a button on the tail like the T-Rex and the Indominus. I think that works so much better. Having the action feature tied into the arms really limits the articulation on everything. And I'm not massively keen on the paint job either. It just doesn't look as nice as on the previous Spinosaurus. I'd liked a bit more detailing, a bit more fading, stuff like that. It seems like a reasonably basic paint job. And the battle damage on the fin on his back drives me crazy because it's constantly popping open and I really struggle to get it to hold closed. Anyone else having that problem? Or am I doing something wrong with this thing? Let me know. The feet being smaller is a nice improvement as well. Let me know what you guys think of this new Spinosaurus. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.